The Kid on the Raft. Things change so much. When I was growing up, one of the fun things we would do is go fishing. For me, it wasn't catching them, it was the time I could spend alone and think about the things I wanted to do when I grew up. I left this small town. Funny how when you're small and stupid all you can think about is moving away from your hometown, and then when you're older something draws you back. It's like there is some supernatural force that giggles a little when you think about running away, and then the fates pull on your strings and the rubber band of life snaps you back where you first started. My problem: I can go to the spot I used to fish, but I can't go home. The state built a dam a few years after I left and flooded the valley where I used to live. Homes and cars still rust and rot under millions of gallons of water, and sadly some of the people do as well. See, they never moved the bodies in the 3 cemeteries that were in the center of the town. Sometimes late at night when I think of that old place, I wonder, just as I close my eyes, do the dead still feel the world? What would it be like to be under all of that water, unable to move and slowly being nibbled on by monster catfish? That's the other problem. Where the inlet is for the dam, a pond broke, one that was full of large catfish. They have turned the waters around the dam into their home and feeding grounds, growing so large they would give a shark a run for its money. As I was thinking about the poor people under the water, I remembered the kid on the raft. Each Saturday I would head down to one of the inlets. This was before it was a dam. The inlet was a large flat river that ran alongside the town. Fishing was good, but the place loved to flood, one of the factors behind the dam, or at least that was what they put in the paper. The thing about a dam, when they put up one, it wipes out everything that was behind it. It's a man-made erasure. For weeks after I moved I would hear about falling rocks from the sky, from my brother who still lived there. Caught word of a strange rumor. Sometime after I left, a milk truck was left on Main Street. Now when I say milk truck, I'm talking about a bottling truck full of raw milk. According to him and the newspaper, there were no markings on the truck and was one of the first of many local mysteries. Like many small towns at the time, they didn't let anything go to waste. The milk was divided up among the locals and was in every home in that town. This is when the fires started to happen. Like many of us, on cold nights we would warm up milk on the stove or make hot cocoa when we were sick. As random families did this, the milk, or what was later called the white stuff, would catch fire. The fires would glow a bright white color and slowly consume whatever it had come in contact with. For years after I thought, maybe this was some type of government experiment and maybe they built the dam to cover it up. There were even little newspapers that reported on the strange fires in the town. One of the farms burned brightly white every night. People from other towns didn't believe the milk stories, so they came up with their own theories. One of the ones that stuck was a falling star, which refused to go out. Whatever the case, they built a dam and flooded the valley to cover it up. My brother was one of the ones that refused to leave. He and others thought if they stayed they would not stop the river, but they did. I haven't seen him since. I have been back a few times, to think about old times and to cast my line in the water. Hopeful I might see my brother walking around the banks of the river. I guess this is the place to be, the water's always warm. And if you stick around you might see a boy on a raft. If you do, tell him I miss him.